Across the country, flooding continues to wreak havoc, submerging homes, cutting off roads and disrupting livelihoods in areas like Syokimau, Kiambu and parts of Nairobi. Residents are now pointing to failed drainage systems and unchecked construction on riparian land as the crisis deepens. But even as emergency teams respond to incidents of stranded families and rising water levels, the Kenya Meteorological Service Authority is warning that heavier rainfall is expected to persist into the coming days, raising the risk of flash floods and landslides and further displacement. NTV's Ashley Atieno has the details.
The rains have not relented, and neither has the destruction they leave behind. Across parts of the country, floodwaters are no longer just rising. They are taking over roads, homes, and entire neighborhoods, leaving residents stranded and exposed. In Katani, Syokimau, Machakos County, the impact was immediate. Floodwaters cut through sections of road, forcing motorists and border operators and passengers to navigate deep, stagnant waters at great personal risk. Residents were forced to wade through murky floodwater, shoes in hand, as they attempted to reach the other side of what became a submerged transport network. And inside the 360 apartments estate, the scale of flooding becomes undeniable. Residents here are not new to this. The estate flooded last year, and while management attempted to create a drainage system, it only worked temporarily, and today it failed.
There have been days where you have to carry a change of clothes, you have to carry gumboots, you have to wear gumboots, and sometimes hata ukivaa gumboots maji bado inaingia mpaka ndani. And then you still get to the gate and it's the same scenario. And at the gate it's actually worse because the water that's at the gate is mixed up with sewage water. So that's obviously dangerous. Na unaona watoto wanataka kucheza but hawezi cheza.
But the effects were felt beyond residential areas. Flooding in Syokimau spilled onto Mombasa Road, triggering a major traffic snarl-up that left motorists stranded for hours. In response, the Moja Expressway Company announced a temporary waiver of toll fees at selected expressway exits as water logging affected sections of the Mombasa Road. And in Muthaiga, Kiambu County, residents woke up to a similar scene. Homes flooded, rooms submerged, families scrambling, buckets in hand as they worked to clear water from their houses, while others struggled to save their belongings from destruction. In one home, furniture was placed on stones in an effort to keep them above the water, yet the flooding stretched from the kitchen to the toilet.
Sina kitu saisi hata unga yenye nilikuwa nimenunua jana, saisi sina kitu yenye hata nitakula. Na venye uchumi saisi imeharibika. Hiyo ndio niko nayo. Hata saisi niko na stress juu vitu zangu zimeharibika.
For Francis Kariuki, a resident at Muthaiga and also a videographer at the Nation Media Group, the crisis became deeply personal, his professional lens now reflecting the reality he usually documents for others.
Kwa sasa hata kwenda msalani ni shida. Kwa sababu gani? Maji haya yamekuja yamejaa hadi ndani ya septic tank ambapo choo kinafaa kielekee, but sasa maji yamejaa. Kwa hivyo ukienda hata msalani uflash ule uchafu unarudi ama mbolea inarudi.
And as the situation unfolded, emergency teams were on high alert. The Kenya Red Cross reported of rising water levels along Mombasa Road and the Eastern Bypass, with flooding incidents increasing. The organization says in Mukuru kwa Njenga, there are reports of missing persons and marooned households, with teams deployed for assessment and possible response. And in Kajiado County, 3 individuals stranded in a lorry along a swollen river have also been brought to safety. But even as response efforts continue, the outlook remains worrying. The Kenya Meteorological Service Authority warns that heavy rainfall is expected to persist across several parts of the country into the coming days, raising the risk of flash floods, landslides and displacement, particularly in low-lying and poorly drained areas. The rains may be natural, but this disaster is not. It is a direct result of government failure. Year after year, warnings are issued, yet drainage systems remain inadequate. Riparian land continues to be grabbed in plain sight, and until those in power move from rhetoric and enforce real change, every rainy season will stand as an indictment of leadership and not nature. Ashley Atieno, NTV.